Throughout history, humanity has demonstrated an extraordinary ability to reshape the very face of the planet in pursuit of faster, more efficient trade. From the earliest days of civilization, people have carved paths through mountains, bridged vast rivers, and dug monumental canals to connect distant lands. These feats of engineering have not only transformed local landscapes, but have also woven together the economies and cultures of the world, making global commerce possible on an unprecedented scale. Among these achievements, canals stand out as the vital arteries of global commerce. They are the lifelines that allow massive container ships to bypass treacherous routes, saving time, fuel, and lives. Every day, thousands of vessels rely on these man-made waterways to transport goods ranging from electronics and automobiles to food and raw materials, keeping the wheels of the world economy turning. The Panama Canal, completed in 1914 after decades of ambition and adversity, stands as one of the greatest engineering marvels in human history. By linking the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, it revolutionized maritime trade, eliminating the need for ships to brave the perilous and lengthy journey around Cape Horn at the southern tip of South America. This single waterway has saved countless lives and billions of dollars, becoming a symbol of human ingenuity and determination. Yet, even the most impressive achievements face new challenges. Despite a major expansion in 2016 that allowed larger ships to pass through, the Panama Canal now grapples with the effects of climate change. Prolonged droughts have reduced water levels, creating bottlenecks and forcing ships to wait for passage. These delays ripple through the global supply chain, highlighting the canal's vulnerability and the urgent need for adaptation in a changing world. This growing vulnerability has sparked renewed interest in the idea of a rival canal elsewhere in Central America. Governments, investors, and shipping companies are exploring ambitious new projects that could offer alternative routes, potentially easing congestion and reducing the risks associated with relying on a single passageway. The prospect of a new canal is not just about competition, it's about resilience and the future of global trade. As plans for a new canal take shape, the world watches with anticipation. Such a project could challenge Panama's dominance, redrawing the map of global trade and ushering in a new era of connectivity. The next chapter in the story of global commerce is being written, and its outcome will shape the flow of goods and the fortunes of nations for generations to come. Deep in the heart of Central America, a colossal new project is taking shape, the Nicaragua Interoceanic Canal. This ambitious waterway, if completed, would carve a path across Nicaragua, connecting the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. The idea is not new. Dreams of a canal here date back centuries, with explorers and engineers long envisioning a rival to the world-famous Panama Canal. But now, for the first time, the project is closer to reality than ever before, thanks to a powerful, new backer. Backed by the engineering expertise and financial resources of major Chinese firms, the Nicaragua Canal aims to become a true competitor to the Panama Canal. Chinese companies have brought in advanced technology, massive construction equipment, and a workforce experienced in building some of the world's largest infrastructure projects. Their involvement signals not just a business venture, but a strategic move on the global stage, as China seeks to expand its influence in Latin America and beyond. The canal's projected cost is staggering, nearly $65 billion, but with that investment comes the promise of a waterway designed for the largest ships on Earth. Unlike the Panama Canal, which has size restrictions even after its recent expansion, the Nicaragua Canal is planned to accommodate the new generation of ultra-large container vessels, offering an unrestricted passage for global trade. For China, the stakes are high. By supporting the Nicaragua Canal, China hopes to diversify its trade routes, reducing its reliance on the Panama Canal, a route that is not only crowded but also vulnerable to geopolitical tensions and bottlenecks. A new canal would give Chinese shipping companies more flexibility, potentially lowering costs and mitigating risks associated with global trade disruptions. The vision for the Nicaraguan Canal is bold: to handle the world's largest ultra-large vessels, which are too big for most existing canals. By enabling these massive ships to pass through Central America, the canal could transform global shipping patterns, offering economies of scale and making trade more efficient for countries around the world. This ambitious plan, powered by China's financial might and engineering prowess, is more than just a construction project. It's the revival of a long-standing dream. For Nicaragua, it represents hope for economic transformation and global relevance. For China, it's a strategic leap forward, and for the world, it's a bold new chapter in the story of international trade, bringing the vision of a second interoceanic canal closer to reality than ever before. The Nicaragua Canal's proposed route spans 276 miles, utilizing natural lakes to reduce excavation. Designed to accommodate the world's largest ships, the canal will be wider and deeper than Panama's. Managed by Chinese enterprises, the project includes new ports, locks, and infrastructure. This holistic approach aims to transform Nicaragua into a major logistical hub, setting a new global standard for maritime transit. The canal stands as a monumental pillar in China's ambitious Belt and Road Initiative, a global infrastructure project that aims to reshape the flow of trade and investment across continents. By constructing and controlling such a vital waterway, China is not only enhancing its own economic prospects, but also redefining the very architecture of international commerce. This canal is more than a feat of engineering. It's a symbol of China's vision for a more interconnected world, where new trade corridors can bypass traditional bottlenecks and open up fresh opportunities for growth. For China, the canal offers a strategic alternative to the heavily trafficked Panama Canal, which has long been a critical artery for global shipping. By establishing a new route, China ensures that its supply chains remain resilient, even in the face of disruptions or geopolitical tensions. This alternative pathway allows Chinese goods to reach markets in the Americas and beyond, more efficiently, reducing transit times and costs. It also provides leverage in global logistics, giving China greater flexibility and security in its maritime trade. The canal project is also a powerful tool for strengthening economic ties between China and Latin America. By offering faster, more direct routes for the movement of resources and finished products, it encourages deeper trade relationships and investment flows. Latin American countries stand to benefit from increased connectivity, infrastructure development, and access to new markets, while China secures reliable sources of raw materials and new destinations for its exports. This mutually beneficial arrangement is reshaping the economic landscape of the region. On the geopolitical stage, the canal represents a direct challenge to long-standing U.S. dominance in the Western Hemisphere. By deepening its presence and influence in Latin America, China is signaling its intent to play a leading role in global affairs. Diplomatic engagements, infrastructure investments, and trade agreements all serve to strengthen China's position, while also providing Latin American nations with alternatives to traditional partnerships. This shift is altering the balance of power and prompting new conversations about the future of international relations in the region. Ultimately, the canal aligns perfectly with China's broader strategy to reduce its reliance on vulnerable maritime choke points, such as the Panama Canal and the Strait of Malacca. By diversifying its shipping routes and expanding its maritime reach, China is working to secure its status as a leading maritime power. This approach not only safeguards its economic interests, but also enhances its ability to project influence and respond to global challenges, ensuring that China remains at the forefront of international trade and geopolitics for years to come. The Nicaragua Canal promises transformative economic benefits, boosting Nicaragua's GDP and creating jobs. For global shipping, it offers increased competition and efficiency, potentially lowering transit fees. The canal's capacity for large vessels could reduce transport costs, benefiting consumers worldwide. It streamlines Asian exports to the US and Europe, enhancing competitiveness. However, it poses economic challenges for Panama and requires regional adaptation to new trade dynamics. The Nicaragua Canal faces immense challenges, particularly environmental concerns. The route threatens sensitive ecosystems in Central America's largest freshwater source, Lake Cocibolca. Financially, the project's $65 billion cost is daunting, even for China. Engineering complexities and geopolitical tensions with the US add to the risks. Social challenges include displacement of communities and public distrust, crucial for the project's viability. The canal project divides opinion in Nicaragua, symbolizing hope for some and fear for others. Supporters see it as a path to economic sovereignty, while locals fear displacement and environmental ruin. Analysts question the economic viability, given competition and political risks. Geopolitically, the US views it as a Chinese strategic outpost, challenging regional security. The canal's dual-use potential raises concerns about future military applications. The Nicaragua Canal stands at a crossroads of ambition and uncertainty. If completed, it could revolutionize global trade, fostering competition and accommodating megaships. It symbolizes a shift in global order, challenging U.S. dominance and embodying China's Belt and Road Initiative. However, environmental risks, financial viability, and geopolitical tensions pose significant obstacles. The canal's success or failure will define the future of global power and cooperation, shaping international relationships and the planet itself.